So, good afternoon, everyone. Today, our topic is etiquette for foreign business trips. Remember, the world has become quite connected in the business world as well. Not only for fun or having holidays, we go to on a trip, foreign places on a trip, but businesses have expanded in a way to become more global. So, at times, it becomes necessary for you to visit a foreign place. Not for the sake of a holiday, but for the sake of your business, right? So, what kind of etiquettes you need to follow in that case? What are the things you should do? We'll have a look at it. Right. Remember, everywhere there's a different way of behaving. As I said, etiquettes actually apply to a group of people or a group of uh, or a part of a society. Not everyone would follow the same kind of etiquettes. Now, here what happens is we need extra care when we are talking about etiquettes to be followed around the world. You know, a global kind of an approach. Usually, why are we going on business trips? We go on business trips to expand and strengthen our business relationships or our professional relationships. Now, what can happen is this lack of knowledge in etiquette's part may become a constraint or a hindrance in developing your long term business relationship. Then, what can help? Knowing a little about the place where you are visiting and the kind of manners and etiquettes that follow at that particular place would help a lot. Please remember there is a technical term, a jargon used here, which called fox pass, which means embarrassing situation. Remember the jargon. It could be important from the exam point of view, in case exams are taken in the MCQ form. So why should I know about the etiquettes of some place I'm visiting, or why should I know about the place? Now, when you have a little knowledge about things or the ways in which people behave in a particular place, it helps you to avoid putting others as well as yourself in embarrassing situations or making a fox pass. Usually, why people focus so much on etiquettes? They focus on etiquettes because etiquettes are a reflection of how you want to be treated, right? Uh, Let me give you a simple example. We'd like to be treated nice, right? Every one of us wants to be treated nice. We are not saying lavish or extravagant services to be provided. But what do we feel? When I visit somebody's home, somebody should wish me, somebody should ask whether I'm doing well or not, if I have a problem or not, right? Uh, Somebody should ask for having uh, coffee, tea, or maybe juice along with the coffee, tea, and juice. They should have the basic manners of offering some snacks. See, this is very common in our case. We always want uh, people to treat us the way we want to be treated. Let's say, we always have a mind. Let's say, let me give an example. Um, I don't know this year will it be possible or not, but since till last year, on the New Year's Day, we visit our relatives. And what is the fun part in it? The variety of snacks, sweets, and of course, little gifts that they offer in the form of a gift or some cash. And that's the exciting part about it. Why? And then there would be somebody who will say, your mom says, let's go to this place, and you will say, no, 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 that auntie does not serve good sweets. That place we do not have anything to drink. And then there would be somebody whose name your mom takes and you're all excited. Oh, yes, 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 they have a lot of variety of things to offer. Why? Because you like to be treated. There is nothing special in it. Because it's a new year, people try to treat you in that way, right? By offering something to drink, by offering something to eat, maybe exchanging pleasantries, exchanging gifts. Similarly, when I'm not saying this is an example that I have taken from our personal life, most of us have been through it. The same is the case in business. Does not mean that you just judge a person by the way he offers you food and something alongside, but it shows the manners, the basic manners that you have. When you shake hand, you exchange pleasantries, you give a greeting, right? Usually etiquettes, these things come with us. Has ever taught your mom that when some guest comes, first give water? Your mom would have told you once or twice, and now you are used to it. And when there is a guest, you have a helping hand, you help your mother with giving water. Do you carry the glass in your hands? No, she would have told you use the tray. This we have been trained to do. The same training would also apply when we are dealing with business situations. Why? It actually shows who you are as a person. Because manners and etiquettes cannot be learned overnight. Just like a language. The way a language cannot be learned overnight, language actually, if you ask me, I believe language is a habit. Similarly, manners and etiquettes are habits that have formed over a period of time that would reflect who you are as a person. And that is why manners and etiquettes play a very important role in business dealings. Moreover, remember, some places they follow certain customs and rituals, or they follow certain kind of a way of behaving. Other places they follow some other way. Now that's why I have written over here that if you know about things, you may become comfortable in controlling your feelings and emotions in a given situation. Let's say some of us, when we would have cracked our first deal, we would have been overwhelmed and we would be crying. Whereas others would have handled it in a better way by not showcasing their emotions in public. This is one example. Similarly, when you crack a bigger deal in business, it helps you to think straight. When you are quite emotional, when you are overwhelmed with happiness, your emotions overpower your mind. And in business, this cannot be taken, right? So that's why if you know about certain customs, certain things, certain manners and etiquettes which a country follows when doing business, it would help you control your emotions over it. Is the statement true or false? Etiquette helps to avoid creating foxpass in specific situations. Is the statement true or false? Excellent, quick and correct answers. This is the only reason I asked you to remember the technical term or jargon, because we know what is an embarrassing situation. But when you take this technical term, the question becomes a little difficult if you do not know the meaning of the term, right? So please remember and mark certain terms like this as important terms. from the exam point of view. And now, what are the tips to make business trips smooth? Please mark this as important question from the exam point of view. The very first thing is you should learn about the culture. Please learn about the culture of the country where you are traveling to, you as a businessman. Let's say I've given a few examples, not limited to, but a few. So let's say the country which I have selected is Australia. First thing is punctuality. Remember, not only Australia, if you take up any global place, now punctuality has become one of the core parts of making your business successful. Firm handshake. You can either wear smart casuals or business suits. When you take Asian countries, handling business cards carefully, noting details and putting it in a short pocket is actually a traditional icebreaker. Exchange of your business card acts as an icebreaker. Learn a few colloquial phrases. English is indeed the global language or the lingua franca. Remember, again, this is a technical term. If I say English is the global language, everybody would understand. English is the lingua franca, then we might have to think for a moment. Okay, so remember the jargon of the world. But it becomes quite annoying when travelers do not make any efforts to use the local language. Right? When people don't try and use. Let me give you an example over here. Remember, we have a lot of international students on our campus. Right? What happens is when you do not, let's say, when you do not speak the same language, there will always be a curiosity that you will have. What are they talking? Are they talking about me? Are they gossiping? I cannot understand a word. Right? But if the same person exchanges greetings or says a few words of your own language, you feel a connection, you feel warmth. Same is the feeling over here. We could at least learn, or anybody can at least learn the greetings and the appreciation part. By greetings, I mean to say good morning, how are you? And the appreciation part means thank you and you're welcome. It was our pleasure being here. Right? You can learn a few words here and there. Most of us use certain words, we know a few words from few different languages, and we can thank the movie makers in this case, or maybe the book writers in this case who have written books and made use of few words. But make sure you become a little more acquainted to the phrases. By colloquial phrases, we mean to say phrases that can be used a lot. Phrases that are used normally. That is the greetings part, the appreciation part. A little here and there you should do. Why should we pick up a few phrases? We should pick up a few phrases that convey gratitude. That's the thank you part. Right? It would be nice to know people speaking in the same language and giving you a thank you. Right? Moreover, now we are all modern day people. You have things on your fingertip. So take help from mobile applications, or you have Google Translate, where you can get words and meanings, or you can translate it into the required language. And you can also listen to the pronunciation, how the word is pronounced. There's a beautiful dictionary called the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. It has a free mobile app, like you can download it on your mobile. And the good part about this dictionary is it gives you a choice between the pronunciation. There is the British or the American. When you type in the word, it will pronounce it for you. Right? As I said, the major efforts that we need to make is to learn the greetings as well as the pleasantries. It was very nice. A few words of appreciation. Everybody likes to be appreciated, right? We know that we made a mistake. Let's say everybody knows where he or she makes mistakes. But a little appreciation, right, would give you so much of confidence. The same thing would happen in the business case as well. Little appreciations would lead to bigger or longer term relationships, business relationships. Please remember, it is not a holiday. It is a business trip. Stick to professionalism. Be professional. Behave professionally. Sometimes, when you go to foreign countries, the host who has called you to his place would try to make the environment little relaxed. Would try to, you might have seen or you might have heard from your friends or family members who are in business, so they would take you for a tour around the place. They'll take you for shopping. But remember, it is not at all anything like a holiday trip you have taken. The only thing that is happening over here when the host, the person with whom you're going to deal with, your host, is taking you around for a tour or is taking you around to shop things, is to try and make the environment little light so that you feel a little comfortable. Right? To remove the little awkwardness that appears when you are in a very unknown place and you don't speak the same tongue. Uh, by the same tongue, I mean you don't speak the same language. That awkwardness that occurs. These things happen in business tours and trips so that that awkwardness is reduced to some level. But it does not mean that uh, you leave professionalism behind. So what do we do to be professional? Avoid discussing any personal matters of yourself as well as any of your colleagues. Be it colleagues who have come to along with you to that country, or colleagues who are back at the office in your own country. Avoid talks which are personal. Yes, you may discuss business, you may discuss business trends, you may discuss the new horizons or new scopes in the business line which you are. But remember, avoid being personal. Don't say that, I had been to this country 5 years back, it's changed a lot. I'd come with my family, and now the way people are treating is very different from when it was 5 years back. Now you have progressed a lot. Avoid talking such things. Remember, you have been here or you have come here for a business purpose. Remember the purpose. Never forget it. As I said, learn greetings and addressing. Remember, everybody loves to be called by their name. Let's say, what if I just call you by your roll number or enrollment number? Or right now, virtually, I can just call by the enrollment number. What if I'm in the class and say, I'll call you as if, yes, you tall-heighted boy sitting in the third row, second bench, with the specs, stand up and answer. How does it sound? Sounds weird. Yes, I'm talking to you. If there are two people sitting there who are long-heighted and have specs, no, they look at each other, they look at me. Sounds weird. Remember, everywhere when you go to different places, there is an addressing that they do to people. Let's say here in India, we call people by their names and surnames, or at times by their surnames. Right? But if you go to certain other countries, you have to call the person by the title. Let's say it could be Mr., Miss, Mrs., or Doctor. Sometimes, usually in case of women, if the woman is married and is also a doctor, you call her Doctor, Mrs., and then the name. Right? There are certain countries where you can call people by their first names. Certain countries call people by their last names. Right? Let's say for us, everybody in our college, we call everybody is a professor. He's my professor. She's my professor. We don't say they are our teachers. We have assigned it. right? Teachers in school, professors in university and colleges. So remember what addressing will you do to the person, right? Usually certain places, they are, let's say, let me give you an example. Let's say we don't say Anil Ambani and Mukesh Ambani. We call it the Ambanis, the Bachchans. So it's all inclusive. That's called the family name. Here, see, if you see in the last point, I have mentioned family names or titles, right? Ambani's means it's Mukesh Ambani and Anil Ambani, that Ambani family, the Reliance family. No, it's all inclusive. Remember how people are called, how they are addressed, right? You should not be doing wrong addressing. Souvenirs and gifts. Who does not like to receive a gift? If I do, then everybody does. Always, as a mark of gratitude and thank you, send a souvenir to the person who has hosted the trip. I'm not saying sponsored the trip, hosted the trip. People who took care of you. This small gesture would create a huge impact. This small gesture would create a huge impact. Remember those people when we were young and when somebody came to our homes, we would always like those people who would bring along something. We will adore them. Let's say kids would always adore uncles and aunts who bring little chocolates, biscuits. For them, a 5 rupee chocolate, the amount does not matter. But oh, that auntie brought chocolate. We can go to her home. Oh, is she coming to our home for dinner? Will she bring chocolates? That fond memory which is attached with that small gesture. Similarly, this is what I'm saying. In personal life, when we like it, in business relationship, it would be nurtured. The entire idea of giving this small souvenir or a gift. Why is it there? It is there so that people cherish good memories with you. They see you as a person who is grateful. Moreover, the small gesture has a powerful effect of generating a goodwill and positive business relationship. This act will remain in the minds of the people if you happen to revisit the place, and people will keep in consideration this thing. And one gift or this act of gifting things or giving souvenirs is perceived as something which is positive. Take into account the temporal there is a spelling error.
અને 6 day madam you can interchange કે OP morning માં આવે અને ઓલું
I think somebody is unmuted. If you can take care. Yeah, thank you. Time. Temporal means time. Here there is a spelling error. I'll correct it. So everybody treats time differently. A few examples, if I'm giving over here. Let's say I've given examples from Japan and Mexico. These are not the limited examples. You can find many more, but two examples I've given here. So let's say in case you are in Japan and there is a meeting which is scheduled for 1 p.m. Now, how do they treat time in Japan? If a meeting is scheduled for 1 p.m., you should be all set by 12:45. That is, your projector is connected, your laptop is on, you are all set. Sharp 1, the meeting begins. Whereas if you take Mexico and a meeting is set at 1, it means anything between 1 and 3. That's fine. Right? But you should learn how they treat time. Praise, never criticize. Praise, never criticize. Please remember, everybody does not live the way we do, or everybody does not have the same practices as we do in our country. Remember to be open-minded to accept the ways of living others have. You should praise the places where you visit when your host takes you to visit different places, and be kind enough to listen to what he has to say before you give a comment. Try to give positive vibes and positive gestures, not only just, the place is nice, but your face is so small. Have a smile on the face when you appreciate things. Remember, as we all know, everything, every place is unique and different. Try to show your respect and appreciation for the uniqueness of that particular place. So is the statement true or false? One should criticize and show one's dislike about a place aloud. Should we do that? Excellent, quick and correct answers. Remember, even when we attend certain, in our own country, even if when we attend certain functions and somebody is terribly dressed, what do we say? And the person will ask you, how am I looking? How's the color of my dress? Do we say it's terrible, you should not wear this? No. We accepted that the person has a different kind of a choice. It's a simple rule that we follow in our personal life to be applied, little changed, and also applied in the professional life. And that is why you should never criticize. Nobody would be liked to criticize. Remember, small talks lead to big results. I know talking to some strangers, for some of us, it would be a big, challenging task. Some of us are not that confident to talk, and it is fine. Some of us are like that. We do not feel comfortable, or maybe it is out of our comfort zone. But remember, as a person or as a guest, try to make small talks. They are challenging, but they can lead to long-term professional relationships when you talk to somebody. Okay, let's say, let me again give you an example from our personal lives. When we visit, or when we have a function, and somebody is not talking, you will like, look at the person. Is he or she not in the good mood? Sulkan, does not want to talk. The person is quite non-mixing type. Remember, somebody has to take the first step, right? It could be you or others. Now, what things can help? Social grooming can help us to make small talks. Remember, as I said, in business, not only writing, but speaking is also an important aspect. And then speaking to strangers is also an important aspect. It begins with strangers, then becoming acquaintances, friends, best friends, business partners, and so on. Right? But you have to talk. One of the best ways of doing so is you may first listen carefully. This is the part which we miss. You may listen. When you listen, you'll come to know what the other person likes, and then you can join in the conversation. Right? Then you can join in the conversation. Next, handle social media with extreme care. Who does not love to flaunt where you are in the social media? Everybody does love to know. Traveling to this place, happy holiday with the family, and then you have 4 or 5 pictures. Remember, it is business, not a holiday. There are certain countries who have internet policies and they ban specific social networking sites. Remember not to breach the rules, right? Just not wearing the seat belt while driving the car is a law. Similarly, every country has its own internet laws. Try not to break it because the consequences might be dire. You may find hard consequences, may find fines levied on you. You have to pay a lot for that small mistake that you do. Remember, it's a business trip. Do it professionally. Putting up pictures is no problem. But try and understand that you have to do it in a professional or in a certain way. As I said, gifts. Do not forget to take back some gifts or souvenirs for friends back at the office in your country. Why? Let's say not everybody in the company is allowed to go for a business trip. And it is quite a human nature that you become a little jealous. Why not him? Why him and why not me? I do better work than him. Why did the superior select him or her for the business trip? So that's called malice. Why does this come? One, the person did not get the opportunity. Two, in the time when you were not there, your work had to be taken care of. Right? These people would have taken care of your work. Carrying gifts and souvenirs means, again, as I said, a symbol of gratitude, a thank you for looking after my work when I was not there. It actually, see here again, the intention is not to develop personal relationships, the intention is to develop professional relationships. It's a kind of a thank you gesture when you give somebody a gift when you go to a foreign trip. Uh, Remember, even family members, when we go for a family holiday trip somewhere, we'll bring something for our family members back here, something for the cousins, something for the aunts and uncles, maybe grandparents who did not accompany. And when you give that thing, maybe it's a little chocolate, let's say, as simple as being a little chocolate, a small little chocolate, right? Even if it's a chocolate, the person, you will see a little spark in the person's eye. You know, they remembered to bring something for me. They remembered. The same attitude or the same kind of a feeling would come to your colleague as well. And that is why this gesture will develop a greater professional relationship between you and your colleague. Next time, when you again you get an opportunity to go for a business trip, the colleague, because of the previous gesture, would not have any problem in doing the work which you were supposed to do. Remember, it is a good gesture. Not only giving gifts to your host, but also remembering and especially bringing back souvenirs and gifts for your colleagues back at your own country. So is this statement true or false? Colleagues may harbor malice for one who gets an opportunity to travel abroad for business purpose. Excellent, quick and correct answers. So here are some specific tips that you may follow when you take foreign trips and etiquettes that you may follow. Please mark this as an important question from the exam point of view. Give a few tips for the etiquettes that one needs to follow when one goes to foreign on a business trip. Could be one of the kinds of questions that can be formed over here. So first thing, it's actually like a conclusion or a summary or a précis of what we have done. So first thing, have a little knowledge about the place and people you are going to visit. Especially remember the name of the people, right? When you are called by your name, you feel as if you are being addressed specifically and personalized, right? So have a little knowledge about the place and the people you are going to visit. Read the newspaper. Reading the newspaper is very important. Why? So that it can update you with the local current events. Right? You should know what is happening where. That's how you can run your business, right? You should know what are the current trends, what are the things in trend, what are the ways people are dealing with things, what are the problems they are facing, etc. Always remember to open a conversation with a compliment, as it gives a nice beginning to the conversation. And when you start talking to somebody, begin with a compliment. What a beautiful country! Indeed, your country is is full of natural scenery. I really love natural scenery. You know, something like that. Make effort to remember names, and not only remember names, but use it in conversations as well to give a personalized touch. Let's say most of us as students would feel proud when your teachers would call you by your names. You feel very proud. She remembers my name. Out of 70 students, madam remembers my name or sir remembers my name. Right? That feeling that you have, why? Because you feel as if the person knows you personally. The same rule applies when you go for business trips. Should make efforts not only just to remember the person's name, but also to use it in conversations. And lastly, when you finish the conversation, end it in a graceful manner and with a positive note. End it in a graceful manner and in a positive note. Why in a positive note? People remember what you said towards the end. Right? It will always have a very good impact or a great impact on a person's mind at the end of what you said. Right? At the end of, oh, he said at the end of the conversation. So always try and make it work in a such a way that conversations end in a positive note. With this, we complete the etiquettes that one should follow in business trips. These are the few common ones. There are many which you can explore, but these are the major ones which and we really need to take care. Do we have any queries, questions? No doubts. Great. Then we can move on to our quiz. Just give me a moment. I'll be giving you the quiz link in a minute. There you go. This is the quiz link for today. You may start attempting your quiz now. Excellent. 41 responses already. We'll wait a few minutes for your friends to join. Sorry, to complete and submit the quiz. Excellent. I see everybody has completed the quiz. Let's take the attendance now. Enrollment number 2. Attendance 2, 5, 8, 9, 10, 12, 16, 17, 19, 24, 25, 26, 29, 31, 34, 35, 38, 44, 46, 47, 49, 50, 51, 53, 54, 56, 57, sorry, 58, 65, 67, 68, 69, 72, 73, 82, 85, 89, 91, 96, 100, 101, 102, 103, 106, 108, 117. I don't mind having a president in my class. Thank you. 117. It's an honor. 118, 119, 120, 121, 125, 126, 131, 134, and 144. We'll call out the absent numbers so that if I or you, either of us have missed it, we can just verify it. Enrollment number 8, 9. Actually, that's what I was talking about. 9. I think I saw enrollment number 9. 10, 12, 19, 24, 47, 24 is just a minute. Miss Neerav, I've marked you. Present. 47, 54, 67, 117, 131, 134, and 144. Right? These are the absent numbers. So with this, we call it a day. 131 is present. Just a minute. Yes, you are marked present now. Anybody else? No. And we'll call it a day. Thank you, class. Have a nice day. Thank you.